Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best tanks in the game right now, ranking them from the very worst all the way up to the very best. So as you guys probably know already, there's been a bunch of different changes in the brawler classes. As we've already looked at the assassins, we're going to be looking at the tanks right now. So let me know whether you want me to continue this series. As you guys know, it's nearly update season already. When it gets towards the end of an update cycle, you know, videos are pretty hard to make and the interest really isn't there. Plus, it's the weekend, so I like to chill out on the weekend as the same as you guys. So before we jump into the video then, make sure you're using a creator code. That'd be greatly appreciated. And also, I'll be doing a video on the brand new skins on my second channel, so make sure to check that one out. But without further ado, let's hop into it. Alright guys, jumping into the first brawler, which of course is the worst tank inside of the game right now, we have Frank. So the thing that I really like though about just every single brawler in the game right now, pretty much, that do have its uses. Considering there's so many brawlers in the game, I didn't really think that was the case, but I kind of picked the worst day to play tanks because there's only double swoosh where I can probably play any tanks on. But Frank, by no means, again, when you're playing a ladder, like, you can definitely get some good value out of Frank. But in general, when you want to try and really push those high trophies, Frank isn't going to be that type of brawler. It's pretty hard to play. You need the right matchup. He does have some decent matchups sometimes, you know, against other fellow tanks, you know, like Rosa, for example, is used to counter Jackie as well. Ash, so he's a decent counter in that aspect, but it's very rare, and I'd rather just go another brawler, which is a lot less risky. So, see if we can push up here against the Jessie. Should be able to get the Jessie down, even with that turret just absolutely destroying me, but should be able to get this tick down as well. Okay, no, that unbreakable wall is actually going to be there for me. Again, like, unbreakable walls do help a lot of tanks out there to help push up, but I feel unbreakable walls definitely hurt Frank a lot, especially because a lot of the times you want to be like behind a wall and you want to be looking to use your super in a good position. So hopefully we can do good right here. We'll be able to get the voice down. We're able to stop the countdown as well. We should be able to get that super onto the tick as well, which is beautiful. But I just can't get the range on it, which is a little bit unfortunate. But the health gear on Frank, of course, is absolutely insane. Okay, I thought he was going to dash through me then. That was pretty funny. The one thing as well, like, look at Mortis. Mortis is just so good on ladder against Frank. I just can't really do too much unless the Mortis makes a really bad mistake. But somehow we still haven't lost this game. I mean, I'm not expecting to win every single game when I'm using the worst brawlers in the game. And yeah, this definitely isn't the case right now. Frank, it's just basically a big fat super feeder. There's nothing that he can really do. And again, kind of getting baited out by the Mortis. So that's going to be the worst tank in the game quite clearly right now. Let's hop into the next one. Alright guys, so jumping into the second worst tank in the game right now. No surprises, it is Bull. So Bull, of course, it can be really good in heist. And that is one thing that will push him above some certain brawlers in some aspects. But I think if we're talking generically speaking, how good of a tank Bull is, I don't think he's like anywhere near some of the other brawlers. I think he gets some really good value with his Stomper gadget, but then once you run out, it's pretty hard to actually get any solid kills with Bull. A lot of times, again, he's just like a super feeder, but some ways he is underrated. A good Bull can definitely make some really good pop-off plays, some flashy plays, and me personally, I really enjoy playing Bull. But again, he does get bullied quite often. I mean, there is a quick way you could actually buff him, is by simply just getting him a little bit extra HP, just so he's a lot better in game modes like high stick and survive and get more damage onto his safe a lot better. I think that'll be a decent buff for him. Of course, people have been calling for a rework to his super. Maybe that might be a good change, but I don't really see it happening in the near future. So yeah, Bull just not really the brawler that I'd really tend to go to. You know, you really need to be a solid player to make Bull work quite comfortably. So one thing I like doing as well is when I don't have a good matchup, which Bull most often than not doesn't have a great matchup, is to use the health gear, mainly because you can get that super quite quickly from constantly regenning. And yeah, that's the way to kind of play Bull at the minute. So let's see. Okay, I was going to see if I can make some good plays, but it's quite tricky when you've got a Gene that's constantly just knocking you back with that super. So no more stompers left. Again, with that super, I mean gadget. Gene just mistimes that terribly, but able to get some really good value right there. Hopefully I can get my super in time and dash out. So I mean, you can see there some good plays from myself because I'm a decent Bull, but overall, I wouldn't really try this at home. He's not the type of brawler that you're going to get consistent wins with. There's a lot better options out there. So fortunately for us, Gene misses that pull. We're able to get the kill on BB and finish off the game. So that is going to be a good win for us. Bull can be underrated in some ways, but overall pretty bad. Let's hop into the next one. So next up at number 8, we have Busters. So again, just like Bull, I feel like he actually relies heavily off his gadget right now in this meta. He has a really strong gadget. People really underrate it. Basically all the time when you get this gadget off, you're going to confirm a kill. But then when you run out of those gadgets, it's not really too much to Buster because his super is pretty terrible right now, let's face it. Only 3 seconds. I rarely get any value out of it. Maybe like one shot from the ricochet hits onto them, but by the time it kind of runs out, you know, you're pretty much dead anyways. But yeah, Buster, not really the strongest right now. But as I said, I think he's underrated in some ways. I've definitely seen him work, you know, on Canal Grande, for example. I've seen him work on Crystal Arcade. I've seen him work in a few instances where a good Buster can definitely pop off. But overall, there's just better tanks out there that will just get a lot more value than him. So we should be able to get some good value out of our gadget right here. We're going to pull the Gene closer so we can get the gems much quicker. We should be able to get this Sandy down. But look at that damage. It's just, you're literally in someone's face and it takes like multiple pieces of ammo to take them down. So we're going to pop super right here just to deflect a little bit more. Unfortunately, the Gene has super, but our teammates should be able to go back in time. Sandy is probably going to stun me here and I'm probably going to get pulled unless the Primo does work. Leon is being quite risky in the middle. Hopefully he draws back right here. He's going to be able to... He doesn't get a kill. Oh, okay. I thought I was about to throw right there. But you can see a good Buster, again, can definitely make things work on grassy maps. Let's hop into the next one. So next up, as his 7th best tank inside of the game right now, I've gone with a Jackie. So Jackie, in some instances, is absolutely terrible. You definitely need a type of map which is really closed off, a lot of walls and probably a lot of grass to make things work, so a lot of things going your way. But Jackie, I think, again, is pretty underappreciated. You can definitely get a lot of pressure with a brawler like her. You know, maps like Canal Grande definitely spring to mind where you can just sit behind a wall a lot of the time, and because of those unbreakable walls, the enemies can't really do anything. So she's definitely that type of pressure brawler, but I wouldn't really expect a Jackie to completely carry you. They're just going to be causing pressure. They're going to be forcing the enemy to pinch you, you know, and then your teammates can then push up themselves. So hopefully we can get some good damage onto this Ash. She'll be able to take him down. That's what I'm talking about. Like, she just definitely have some decent matchups, but more often than not, people don't actually know how to play a good patient Jackie. So I need to get down this right hand side because we have just got no pressure going our way, unfortunately. But yeah, Jackie just won't be anywhere close to the meta, mainly because of the range. The range definitely is a determining factor as to why she's not the best. So hopefully we can get the super off in time and get this Tara down. That was pretty bad. My teammates are just kind of sitting there. We definitely need to do something right now, or else we're definitely going to lose. And she's definitely really reliant on this gadget as well. Voice is going in, but yeah, there's just not much we can really do. It's definitely suffering a lot from the range that I just can't get anywhere close to these guys. Hopefully I can heal up and do something. Spike with a super, but it's going to do nothing. I haven't got any super or even a good super to make any kind of game-changing plays unless we can't even get into distance right here. But Jackie, you know, she is pretty bad, but still underrated in especially gamers like Bounty and Brawl. Let's hop into the next one. So next up, as his 6th best tank in the game right now, we have Rosa. So Rosa is actually often very underappreciated. Rosa tends to do really well on ladder whenever I play her, especially in gem grab, Bounty, you know, maps where you can connect the bushes. It's going to cause a lot of mayhem, especially unbreakable walls actually really helping. Unfortunately, this Colt just breaks my gadget. Of course, you don't want dumb teammates like that because they're going to literally destroy what you're trying to build. You know, I'm trying to build a fortress here. I'm trying to build a little gateway so I can constantly sneak up. Tara's using this gadget, which I don't see anyone use, which of course is going to counter me the most. But also Rosa, unfortunately, I'm not using the right star power in this matchup, but Rosa normally when she uses thorny gloves just absolutely destroys some fellow tanks like Ash, for example. I'm actually seeing her use so often in sneaky fields, whereas probably about 5 months ago or so I didn't see any Rosas. So it's pretty nice to see that. So we're going to pop a gadget right here just to give us a little bit more space to maneuver and try and get in behind enemy lines. Tara's going to use a super here, but I should be able to just destroy her with my super. And of course, the thing about Rosa that always makes her really strong is the fact her super just tanks so much. And if you're a good Rosa and can cycle it multiple times, there's not many things that can actually stop you. So we've got a countdown right here just because of the mayhem. I don't know what the Colt is really doing. He's running into the Ash and somehow he doesn't even die. I don't know what's going on. This is what happens on a Saturday. We just absolute carnage happens, but we should be able to survive here, and that's going to be the win. Rosa often really underrated. Let's hop into the next one. All right, guys, so jumping into the 5th best tank in the game right now, we have BB. So I'm always quite critical about BB, whether she's good or not. She does definitely have her good moments, but then she also has quite a lot of bad moments as well. There's not actually many maps in the game that she's very good in, but I will say, especially in ladder, she's pretty easy to play. A lot of times she will be able to get a lot of good value. She's got really 2 really good star powers, especially on a grassy map like this. You can easily run baton stance and just use a speed gear, and you'll have a lot of room to kind of tank. You pair that with the shield gear as well, you're going to be really tanky. And then in more open maps, Home Run is actually a really underrated star power. You can get so much value out of it. So it's one thing to bear in mind. But still, I think BB definitely is deserving of a buff because you've literally never see her in competitive. So I'll try not to make this list just a solely competitive tier list. But yeah, I've got to mention it because I don't remember last time I kind of seen her. Maybe in other regions she's used more, but within EU she's barely ever used, even in like maps like Pit Stop, for example, or even like Sensor Control, where you'd think that BB's used often. She's not, because a lot of times other tanks will just counter her too much in the draft. But as I mentioned, within just ladder, I feel like BB can be pretty easy to play a lot of times, unless you play Brawl. If you play Brawl, I think you're pretty screwed, because basically you're facing like Mortis, Surge, Primo, basically like every single game, and those are like her biggest counters. So should be able to get some value here with the bubble. Unfortunately, Janet does keep us pretty low, but we're just going to run all the way this side and try and get these gems over here. Again, we can tank a lot with this shield, and Janet does get super just in time. Okay, that is pretty annoying. I thought we could easily confirm the kill right there, but she goes all the way into spawn, and we might be able to actually get her here. Let's see, just a Janet left. If my teammates can help me, that would be pretty good. I'm just going to be able to kill her right here, reset the countdown. My Primo's going to go in, hopefully get most of these gems. He's just absolutely carrying it. I think he might be able to get out here. Yeah, my Emma's going to be able to get the kill. And somehow we steal pretty much all of her gems unless Janet lands in a good position. I'm just going to keep as much aggro as possible, get this good bubble off. Oh my god, that just absolutely deleted him. Cycled bubbles like it's nothing. And that's going to be the win. So to be honest, didn't really do too much, but I think BB is in like an underrated period / weak period. Definitely could argue other tanks are better than her, but thought I'd spice up the list a little bit. So that's going to be number 5. Let's hop into number 4. Okay, so jumping into the 4th best tank in the game right now, we have Meg. So somehow Meg's actually classified as a tank, which I guess I wouldn't actually classify her as a tank. So maybe if you're thinking like purely tank, probably like number 10, but when we're thinking about how strong each of these brawlers are, I think Meg definitely is like the 4th best, mainly because in Hot Zone, of course, she has so much tankiness in that aspect. Like, you can just stay on the zone for so long. There's not many brawlers that can literally get her off the zone, and by the time you've probably killed her, she can then just cycle her super so incredibly quickly and just get even more tankiness. So definitely she's tanky on Hot Zone, but overall, maybe not, but I mean, she's pretty tanky with a star power as well, and if you have the shield gear as well, you know, secretly, I think she has like 5k, 6k HP, which is quite a lot. It's actually pretty hard to kill a Meg overall. Like, unless Meg makes a really bad mistake, I don't think you're really going to be able to kill her. So I'm just going to heal up here just in case I do die out of Meg form. I want to make... Okay, nice. Thanks, Surge, for ruining my shield gear. I may as well just pop my super now and try and get in here dirty. So unfortunately, Belle does hit me with the mark, but I don't know what she was really doing there. Why would you push into a Meg that has the potential just to swipe you like that? Especially when a damage gear is active, I can just take people out so quickly. So I think Meg overall actually is still pretty underrated. Like, across the board, I reckon she can be a lot more viable in some other modes, but yeah, we just don't really see it right now. I am going to be able to get my super, but there's no point really using it just yet. But if an aggro brawler like Leon or any other aggro brawler is going to be able to run into me like that, I'm not going to be able to do too much in my single form. So yeah, that's why I just don't think as well she's a tank, because of that single form. She doesn't deal any damage when in that first form, and I would probably say more often than not, you're actually in this single form. But we're going to be able to win this game quite comfortably. I feel like I definitely did pop off, even though I don't think there's any really any brawlers that I counted there. But that's going to be the 4th best tank. Let's hop into number 3. Alright guys, jumping into the 3rd best tank in the game right now, we have Daryl. So the reason why I love Daryl so much, he's definitely a tank. He's definitely a tanky brawler, but I would actually consider him as well as like a hybrid, because the best thing about Daryl is that, of course, once he gets his role, he can then turn into a really good assassin. So I love playing Daryl when it comes down to heist, when it comes down to certain game modes where even like bounty in some aspects, he can definitely get a lot of value out of his role. So we're just going to roll straight on top of the Gene right here. He can't do anything, and we should be able to sneak right up onto the spike right here. We're going to use for slow, and we're going to super out to dodge that Tara super. So really good combination right there. I don't know what the Genie is doing right there. Unfortunately, I've got 2 gems, which I don't really want, but that's not going to stop me going in aggro. So again, going to try and build up my super as much as possible. But I always love Daryl. Daryl for me will always be underrated, even when he has some really bad periods in the meta. I just love playing him because a good Daryl can still absolutely pop off. Unfortunately, this Tara pet is really annoying. Hopefully a Surge takes it down pretty soon. Maybe I go on a Tara because BB will just have no chance against her. I need to try and at least scout her out a little bit. I don't know what she's doing with that super, but she'll be able to take her down here. That's going to be pretty nice. Again, that pet with 30 HP is going to be a little bit annoying. I need to... Oh, okay, that is definitely a good hit from Jean. And now we only need one more gem. Hopefully, BB don't just run in and feed in a gem, which she does. Of course she does, because she's pretty dumb. So it's going to get pulled as well. And that is looking like a big fat rip unless we can really do anything. But overall, I still consider Daryl a really strong brawler in the game. Unfortunately, he's not really the best against completely everything. But that's going to be the number 3. Let's hop into number 2. Alright guys, jumping into the second best tank in the game right now, we have El Primo. So I've been trying for like 4 games to even get some decent gameplay. I think at this point I just give up and you guys can just laugh at my El Primo gameplay. But El Primo is the second best tank in the game right now. Definitely is one of the strongest for sure. You've seen him a lot when it comes down to competitive right now, whether it's heist, bounty, brawl, especially when it comes down to ladder. He's going to be really strong. So one tip I want to mention straight away before I forget is that when you're playing a tank like El Primo and you don't have the best of matchups, you're going to be using the health gear just because of course you're not going to get much value out of any of the other gears when you're just constantly being outranged. And hopefully I can just sit back and heal right here. And then I'm close to my next super, even though I completely fluffed it. So again, I'm just going to get this kill on Tara. I should be able to get this Jean down, honestly. I'm going to throw him back that way and not too sure why, but I'm going to get the kill somehow. Yeah, just don't look at my Primo gameplay. I can probably bet that all of you guys are better than Primo than me. By far my worst brawler, but definitely a good Primo can pop off for sure. Just don't want to get pulled by this Jean because it's definitely going to be the death for me. Hopefully our Jean hits the pull instead, but no. Yeah, you guys can just laugh at this Primo gameplay because I don't think I'm getting a win anytime soon. Playing at like 900 trophies and I've just been suffering time and time again. Maybe someone can feed me my super right here. Gonna jump on literally nothing. And yeah, I just rage quit. I'm a terrible Primo, but a good Primo is going to be able to pop off in literally every single game mode. So yeah, it's going to be the second best tank. Let's hop into number 1. Alright guys, jumping into by far the best tank in the game right now, we have Ash. I don't think there's any competition whatsoever with its brawler. He's just so strong. The main reason why he's so good is because he's good against his fellow counters. Most tanks will just struggle against, of course, their counters because that's what counters do, if that makes sense. But with Ash, you can counter his counters. So, of course, he's going to be incredibly strong. A brawler is strongest when he has, like, no counters. And that's basically Ash. A good Ash player has no one that can counter him. So we should be able to get our our rats off to keep us alive there. But yeah, his rats will definitely be his saving grace in a lot of different matchups. Hopefully we can take down this Jean. And again, you're gonna have to bear with me. Tanks are not my strong suit. You've probably always known this. Some of our worst brawlers, but the way you get better at certain brawlers is by playing them a lot. And I'm getting a little bit better with him, but time and time again, I do get outclassed. But we should be able to get this Tara down pretty easily. Jean and an Ash together is definitely not what I want to be running into, but we need to make something happen. So gonna have to try it. So we do actually get another super right here. Should be able to get the Ash pretty weak. The rats are going to counter Jean pretty hard as well, but it's just me getting all the pressure. I need to definitely run back and heal. Maybe our Penny. Okay, Penny is a bot. Yeah, this gameplay is so chalked, so incredibly chalked, but you guys know how strong Ash is already. We should be able to get the Jean down there, but yeah, with a bot on our team, we can't really do anything. But I've been trying my hardest with randoms today, and I'm at my end of the line. I just can't play randoms anymore. You're gonna have to stick with this gameplay right here. So yeah, that's gonna be the best tank in the game, no doubts whatsoever. Ash is just incredibly strong, one of the best brawlers in the game as well. So that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know who you think is the best tank inside of a game right now. I think there's no debates about Ash, but probably you can switch up a lot of things. Maybe on another day I probably would have put BB towards the end because I've got a bias with BB. I just don't think she's the strongest. But that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.